Hi everyone, I'm Amy Zelmer and I wanted to check in with you guys today. Our weather here, it's getting a little bit icy and snowy. We're having our first storm of the winter and it's kind of triggering some stuff for me because that's how I sustained my TBI. I fell on the ice and landed on my head. I had zero warning that I was going down. I didn't realize that the ground was slippery and I was on a bit of an incline. So once my feet went out, I literally, my feet went up in the air, my head landed on the ground. So every time it starts to kind of get icy and sleety out, it starts to kind of bring up all those icky feelings and those emotions and anxiety, and it just, it stirs up all that icky stuff. And I'm doing my best to take care of myself and keep those feelings kind of at bay and just move on with my life and learn how to work through those icky feelings. But I wanted to share with you a poem that's in my book. If you haven't already heard about my book, Life with a Traumatic Brain Injury, Finding the Road Back to Normal, you can find it on my website at facesoftbi.com, or it's also on Amazon. But I wanted to share a poem with you guys that I wrote. And I wrote this a few months after I fell, and it's called Split Seconds. So I'm going to read this poem for you. I am lost in the darkness, not sure which way to turn. I think I can see a light, but it's out of my grasp. Thoughts spiraling in my head, unsure of where I belong. Nothing makes sense anymore. I'm sure I was wrong. Everything is twisting, turning, and spinning. What I once thought was normal has been turned upside down. We never think it can happen to us, the unthinkable words that we hear. It's a simple accident, and our world is changed in split seconds. So that's something that I wrote shortly after I fell, and my world had been turned upside down quite literally. And it's a matter of just a split second that it took for me to fall. It completely changed my life forever. And I can now that I'm on the other side of it, I really can see the light, and I understand that I fell for a reason so that I can be a voice for all of you who maybe can't express how you're feeling, to help bring to the world what we're truly going through with a traumatic brain injury, and how a simple concussion isn't just a concussion, it's a brain injury, and it can have lifelong permanent implications and symptoms after you've had a head injury. Um, you know, I've heard so many different things from my doctors, between, well, it's more than a year, so this is probably the best you're ever going to be, to, well, you should make a full recovery. And, you don't know where the truth lies. And I realize that doctors don't know. They can't see the brain. It's a complete mystery. It's invisible. It's silent. And I get that. But at the same time, as a survivor, it's really frustrating. And when I wrote this poem, I was probably in the worst place that I ever was in my recovery. I had constant vertigo and dizziness. The fatigue was overwhelming. I was sleeping 14, 15 hours a night, plus taking a 2-hour nap during the day. I could hardly leave the house because overstimulation just, sent me into a spiral of headache and dizzy. And my memory was horrible. I would get lost driving to familiar places, and it was really frustrating. And I thought that I was never going to get better. I really did, because I actually kind of got a little bit worse before I started to get any better. And it wasn't until I was at about 16 months when I started some cranial sacral therapy on my head. And that gave me a great relief. It removed a lot of the pressure inside my skull. It realigned my skull back into position, and that has greatly helped my recovery. Cranial sacral therapy, or CST. I would highly look into that if you're still having lots of fogginess and cognitive impairments and pressure in your head. That's been the greatest relief for me. But I'm still recovering. I still have lots of memory issues. I have aphasia. My aphasia is most present when I'm, in a group of people and I have to come up with things on the spot. I have a hard time trying to find the right words, or I'll say the completely wrong words. I do that a lot. I rewatch videos and realize I said something that didn't make any sense because it was the wrong word. But I hope that other people understand. So I wanted to share this poem with you, and I wanted to just share this video with you in hopes that it helps you feel like you're not alone. It helps you understand, okay, I'm having some anxiety today, the icky stuff's coming up, but I choose to work through it. That's my attitude. I choose not to let it win. I'm going to win. I'm going to get through this. Because recovery really is an attitude. It's all, if your doctors aren't doing anything for you, it's up to you to have the attitude and the perseverance to just get through it. And we will. We might not make a full recovery, but we'll cope, we'll deal with it, and we can still lead a very fulfilling and functional life. So please share this video with anyone you love, that you want them to understand what you're going through, and hopefully we can continue shedding more light on traumatic brain injury and concussion. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.